Okay, so let me take an example right away to show you the most practical difference between extend and append. So let's say I have a list 1 equals to John and Kevin. Okay. And list 2 equals to Mike, Richard. So you can see now if I use append, I print list 1. Okay. So you can see list 2 gets added as an object here. It didn't extract elements from list 2 and then added it. It added the list itself. So here the first object is a string, second is also a string, and third is a list. Okay. Now if you print here list 1 index 2, it will print Mike and Richard, because that's the element at the second index of the of list 1, right? However, if we use extend, then list 1 dot extend list 2, if I print list 1, see it first extracted the elements from the list 2 and then added it to list 1. So by definition, when we use append, the argument of the function gets added at the end of the list, gets added at the end of the list, right? The length of the list increases by 1. Whereas in extend, an iteration is done over the argument, and each element gets added, and the length of list increases by number of elements in the argument. So here the number of elements. So here the number of elements in the argument, which is list 2, the number of elements inside list 2 are 2, right? So the list here increased by a count of 2. So talking about the time complexities, append has a time complexity of 1. It's a constant here, because it will just append the list at the end, right? It won't be extracting the extract it won't be extracting the it won't iterate over the contents of the list. It will just it will just add the list. So O of 1, whereas extend has a time complexity of O of k, where k is the number of elements present in the argument, and hence the length, and hence it's also the length of the list which needs to be, that is the length of the list which needs to be added.